this live because Jesse's family are in Nashville, so we're going to try and do the ceremony live. I'm going to speak. Jesse's daughter is going to come and speak. Trish Fuller is going to come and speak. And then we have some musicians and Jesse's Concordia teacher, Charles Ellison, is going to play his trumpet for us. And then we have Naveen playing on keyboard. We have Doug Kennedy going to be playing some things and saying some things. So yeah, and I'm going to try and get through this. We all have to remember that it's to celebrate his life. And yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Now I have to read from you. So thank you everybody for coming. Family members, friends, when Jesse passed, neighbors, you can ask my brother Michael, it was, as people found out about Jesse, it was a little overwhelming and mind-blowing because the people that reached out to me was incredible. You know, he was truly somebody who was loved. A lot of his friends as well, they're you know, fellow musicians and stuff, they're saddened. But we also have to remember he's in a better place right now. And I had said to him before, when something happens, Jesse, I'm bringing you home. I'm bringing you home where you wanted to be. So that's what I did. I couldn't do it right away just because it was just a little overwhelming. Plus, I knew that I needed to do something a little special for Jesse because of all the people that he knew, I'm like, how do you do just this in a week or 2 weeks? I couldn't imagine because in my heart I knew he would love this. You know, he would just love this. So I'm just going to give you a bit of history on Jesse because, you know, over the years he would talk to people and give them little snippets on, you know, his life, what he did when he was, you know, starting out. But there's a lot to his history and his musical career. So I'm just going to start by saying that all of you know that Jesse was born in Nashville, Tennessee on December 26, 1946, and he passed away. Ironic date, like nobody's gonna forget it, January 1st of 2026. I guess he really wanted, you know what I mean, his date to be special. So, you know, and I guess it was his time, that's what they said. He was born, yeah, so fitting date, Jesse, and no one will ever forget the date you left us. He started to play trumpet at the age of 5 in school. Music City, USA, Nashville, they encourage kids from an early age to pick up some instrument, play, you know what I mean? They encouraged so much that they would provide trumpets and, you know, musical instruments for the students that you know, either couldn't afford them or didn't have one. So he really started at the age of 5 years old, like in kindergarten. Hold on, I got lost here. So I'm pretty sure back then, like when he was able to bring the trumpet home, I'm pretty sure his 10 siblings were like, and his mother, Maddie Bell and Willie Howard, we called her Mama Honey. And his 10 siblings were probably, oh my goodness, that noise. But Jesse was determined, you know, and I guess even back then he knew it was his true calling, so he kept up with it. By the time he was 16 years old, he would go to school, and his dad would bring him to you know, Nashville because he wanted to sit out sit outside the clubs. He couldn't get in the clubs, but Jesse would sit on the sidewalk as people like, you know, Percy Sledge or Aretha Franklin, a lot of the older artists that would actually have, they were just starting off, and they would have gigs, and then after their gigs, they would go to the local bars, you know what I mean? Like Jesse played, you know, behind quite a few of those, you know what I mean? His friend Alberta Todd was like a trove of information for me. Like I couldn't believe the people that he actually played behind. You know, when there was, you know, Jimi Hendrix in a time his bass player was Billy Cox. And he also went into the clubs in Nashville. Jesse met Billy Cox and knew him till the day he passed, you know. Like, he told my brother Michael when Michael was pretty young, you know, hey, he said, I know Billy Cox. You know, Michael's like, yeah, sure, you know. He said, yeah. He said, he goes and gets the phone book, and Michael gets on the phone, and he said, hey, he said, I'm Billy Cox. He said, Michael was like flabbergasted. He's like, oh my goodness, he does. They were, when he would sit outside, sometimes the bouncers or the owners, even though he was 16 and 17-year-old, as they were playing, they would say to him, because he would play along with them, they could hear him outside. And then they said, come on in and play, you know, and just go in, you're invited in. He said, yes, but I'm underage, doesn't matter, you know, so. Once he was age and after finishing high school, he attended Tennessee State University on scholarships during the day, and he played at clubs at nighttime. His first official band was the Soul Searchers in Nashville, and he knew many musician friends in the Nashville circuit and was always around and was playing around town. He traveled to many states in the U.S., including in 1969 he traveled to Detroit while playing with one of his close trumpet friends, William Barnes, who was headed to play in Detroit with Smokey Robinson. While he was there, he met Carolyn Franklin, which is Aretha Franklin's baby sister. You know, Jesse, he had the gift of the gab, and you know, I may have a bit of it now, but
you need it now.
yeah, I do need it now. So, and then she said, I'm going to Toronto, I'm going to play some gigs, and why don't you just pack up your bags and come with us? So we did. Then she played the gigs in Toronto, and then when her visa was up and she finished the gigs that she went back to Detroit. Jesse was like, I'm staying. So he would play the clubs, the local clubs in Toronto, and then he one night he was in the club. I believe Carolyn Franklin was in that club, and Bob Marley actually came in. He talked to Bob Marley. Bob Marley, you know, I told you he had the gift of the gab. Bob Marley tells him, hey, I'm going to Montreal. He said, if you want, come. He said you could play some of the gigs. So he actually did at the Edgewater Hotel in Point Claire. And then when Bob Marley went back, he was like, no, I'm not going back still. I want to stay here. So then he played around town, a lot of, you know, Dutch Masons, blues bands. I don't know if you all know Maples Inn. He played at the Maples Inn. He played the Edgewater. He played wherever somebody wanted him. Said, hey, I'm going, you know, to play this place. And Jesse, they'd say, come and join me. So he'd go up on stage. His good friend Ed Stevens, he was like that. They played a lot together. Anyways, and then he got his papers, and then he actually started going to Concordia University, where he met Charles Hughes. was his teacher and mentor for years. He played Montreal, like Michael will remember this band, the Willie Ray Review downtown with the Blue Note. They were like a blues band, and it was crazy because, you'd have band up there, they'd be all playing, and then all of a sudden, like, the trumpet player would go out in the audience, and he'd be like, get beside like a man or a woman, and he'd start really blowing his trumpet, like, in 2011, Jesse met, through Naveen, I believe, he met Carolyn Fay. I don't know if you know Carolyn Fay, but she's local, she was local, I guess, in Montreal. And, when we met, like, I think Naveen said, well, I'm going into the studio, I'm recording a song. He said, and Carolyn needs a trumpet player, who offered? I'll do it. So he actually went into the studio with them. Naveen actually is right here. He's the keyboard player on this song that they had. She had the vision of the song and the words of the song, but she didn't know what to call it. So Jesse had gone into the studio. I think they took maybe one little practice, and then all of a sudden they were recording it for the album. So that album, you can actually find it online. Her name is Carolyn Fay. The album is called 100%. And Jesse, I think he plays on one or two. But the biggest song on the album is called Trumpet Man Blues, which she named after Jesse played what he did. She said to me, it's amazing. Like he went through it one time, and then he just blew it on the album, like to record it on the album. So then I think it was in 2012, and we actually were on the way to my sister's, Wendy, my oldest sister who passed away. We're getting ready at home, and we used to listen to a radio station called Cooler Jazz. So I was, coming from putting my makeup on, and I go, wait a minute. I go, Jesse, listen. This Trumpet Man Blues was played on that radio station. Like, it was kind of ironic, it was the same day, but it just happened that way. The list of his accolades go on and on. There's a live one on Cafe Campus, on the Cafe Campus for Carolyn Fay, but it was us hollering in the background, because at the time Auntie Heather was with me. You can hear us hollering in the background. And you can also download that version, the album, the original studio one, digitally if you want to. Jesse also, over the years, started playing at long-term care facilities. He just wanted to give back. Could be a Sunday afternoon, 1 to 2. But he would go there probably once every 2 weeks, and there was one, it's close by here, Vigée Santé, and he played there probably over 20 years, just going every second Sunday, every third Sunday. Jesse, they always offered him money, here, Jesse, here's a $500 check. We have the capacity to do that. It's like a fund that they have to pay volunteers if they want. Couldn't accept 1 cent for, at one point they were both crying. She's trying to, hand him the check, and he's like, no. He said, keep it for the elderly and put it towards something that they would like. It's my pleasure to go and play for them. It was funny because on Christmas Day Eve, we were at, I we had gone to see Jesse in the hospital. And my brother Mike and Vita graciously said, hey, come stay at our place. Come to our place. We're gonna, celebrate a little bit. And we ended up sitting at the table. There was Bradley, Nathan, Matthew, Nathan's girlfriend, Olivia. And we started to talk about Jesse. So my nephew Bradley said, hey, do you know your uncle's a legend? So Nathan says, well, I know he recorded a song, when he played all around town and stuff. When we started Bradley started to tell him all the things that he knew, and then Michael telling everybody what he knew, it was pretty amazing to sit there and listen to what they were saying. They were like, oh my goodness, I didn't know we did all that. Oh my God, I didn't know we did all that. But sorry. It's getting dry, I know how that is. So yeah, they were like, damn, Uncle Jesse, we didn't know all that. Jesse also was in movies. He was in Eddie Lives, which is the sequel to Eddie and the Cruisers movie. I can't remember what year that was, but that was way back in the day. Pardon? Oh, Orville knows, because Orville, actually, Orville is our saxophone player that's going to play today. They played, it was a part in the video, that you have to watch the movie, there's Eddie and the Cruisers in the sequel, and so in that, the second movie, Orville and Jesse and a couple of your buddies, played, there's a song and it's called Emotional Storm, and yeah, they both blew the ass off of that one. Yeah. He played in an episode of Heart to Heart. He played in Urban Angel, and he played in Montreal PQ, which is a French miniseries in his, where he played a drunk. Let me tell you, for somebody who didn't drink, he probably had 5 drinks in his entire life, and especially after his car accident, couldn't drink. Let me tell you, I'm like, you have to be a real drunk in order to play that. So I was like, he played also in Behind Sidney Poitier in The Jackal. I'd be honest with you, I haven't seen the movie, so whether they play that part, because everybody gets their part, I have no idea. But he was in there. There's a picture of him in with one of the other actors in a jail cell. It wasn't real when you see him. He would work passionately on inventions which never, came to fruition. Jesse, during his life, like sometimes he could, finish things, others he couldn't. But he would work at them passionately. Doug can tell you that they made a replica of the Holiday Inn sign, and he broached them and said, I have an idea for you.
He wrote the jingle too.
He wrote the jingle.
He wrote
Yes.
the music, sung it. But the problem was that they had to go through their advertising agency, right? So you have to sign a contract. It says anything you create while you're employed by them belongs to them, and that didn't taste right.
So the replica of the sign would say, hi, come up, the 2 letters lit up, and then Holiday Inn would. I'm telling you, he worked for us.
Yeah, we actually had one that lit up like that, Jesse had great ideas.
Yeah, some years later, if you look, some of his inventions, games, he would do games, he would do an automatic window washer, some of those things now, you look on the internet, they're all on that, He had a game with dentures and, didn't together for 46 years. And married for 36. Took us a little while. Through good times and bad, through sickness and through hope, they say. Jesse and I met in 1979 at a popular doorbell bar. Yeah, a bar. Called the Satellite on Doorbell Avenue. He was playing with a 9-piece band there. Ed and I were speaking last night, and he said, "Oh, I remember Charles. I think he was the singer." That's when I met Jesse, because he was playing in that band. I used to go, I had been working at the Bank of Montreal, so, they were there all weekend, including Sunday night. And I was like, okay, I've been here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, okay, maybe Thursday night too, or Sunday night too. One night, while one of my girlfriends and I were sitting there, the lady that comes with the little baskets, saying you want to buy some roses, she passes by our table, and she hands us 2 roses. 2 roses. And I said to her, I go, where did they come from? She said, I can't tell you, he doesn't want me to tell you. So me and my little old self. I said to her, well, if you don't tell us, you can take them right back to wherever breakfast. She told us who it was. And then after, Jesse actually came to the table and spoke to us. It was speaking more to my girlfriend, so I just got out of the previous relationship. I wasn't doing, he talked to her for a while, then he came over and he asked her to dance. She came back to the table and she said to me, what a nice guy. She said, he told me he loves women for 4 reasons. So that's his mother and his 3 sisters. I go, damn, he is a nice guy. Anyway, so next few times I went in the weekend, it was still Charlie playing that big with the band. And then he came over to me one night and he said, I really like talking to you, and I really like your phone number. I said, I don't think so. Anyways, it was a few nights later when I was there. I said, okay, you can have my phone number. That was the start of the barrage of he would call me. I'd tell him I'd get home at 5:45 on the train. I'm home at 6:10. Lo and behold, every night at 5:45, I'm calling my house. My mother would answer the phone. They would talk and talk and talk. Anyways, then she said, Jesse called just before he came in. I said, okay, I told him it's only 6:15 to call me. Nope. Anyways, to say all that, Jesse used to call me and he said, oh, he said, so I heard you like this kind of music. I said, oh, I heard you like doing this on Sunday morning, reading a Sunday Express. I heard, I'm like, okay, well, could you please stop? So then, there was one night that I couldn't go there on Sunday night. I looked at the bank. I had to get up. I couldn't afford to go to the bank. Jesse kept calling me that night. Could you please come? Could you please come? I'm like, no, Jesse, I can't. I got to get up for work. So after 5 phone calls, I said, sleep now. Then I didn't hear from Jesse for a week. I'm like, uh-oh, yes, I peed him off. Anyways, a week later, I get a phone call. I'm like, hey, I said, how's it going? Jesse said, I'm in the hospital. I go, which hospital? He said, I don't know. He said it was in a car accident. So I said, okay, my girlfriend and I went to see him. He was in there for about a week. They had a nurse's strike. So anybody that they can let go, they let go. So we went to pick up Jesse. Jesse, on the way home, he's like, can you stop at my apartment? I said, because I want to go upstairs. He had a cast on his right arm, cast on his left arm, broken glass. You know, he had suffered later, found out a fractured skull which caused the seizures. And on the way home, he's like, I want to go to the club and play. We're like, are you absolutely out of your mind? You just gotta go. No. You know, Jesse. When he asks for something and he wants it, hard head, we said, okay, we're gonna bring him. He went back into that club and he actually played like 3-4 sets, sitting on the chair, blew his butt off. That's how nobody's gonna stop him, especially when it comes to his trumpet. Jesse had a God-given talent playing his beloved trumpet and writing lyrics. My filing cabinet downstairs could tell you how much lyrics this man wrote. I know his biggest dream in life, besides marrying me, of course, was to make it on the big stage. In my eyes, you did that. You're on that big stage right now. I can hear you out there playing your trumpet to Amazing Grace and many other songs that we both love. And with so much joy and happiness, that you're definitely playing in God's choir or his band, loud and proud. How sweet the sound. I know they are simply loving it, as we all did when you got up to play. It melted my heart, and I felt so very honored to hear you when you went anywhere, when you got up on stage, if you knew the band or not. And you would wow everybody listening, and I could hear the cheers and the hollering. Your talent was a true gift. As you can play any genre of music, country, blues, rock, pop, we are certainly blessed to have had the chance to spend many years together. As for the words on the song you wrote for me in 1995, don't misuse that lady, even if it drives you crazy. I will add to those lyrics by saying, yes, I may have at times, but that's love. And we drove each other crazy, I'm pretty sure. As well as those musical talents, I know a lot of our grown-up nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, children and grandchildren will remember your many magic tricks that you showed them as kids. And they were in awe of their Uncle Jesse, their granddad, and their brother from Canada. Oh, that took on speech in the U.S. Jesse has such a kind heart, as you know. Don't tell Jesse that you like the shirt or the pants or the suit or the shoes he was wearing, because the next thing you know, he's gone to change and said, here, you can have it. He literally gave the shirt off his back. Jesse did that in Nashville as well as here in Canada. Many times we would travel home with practically one full suitcase and one empty suitcase. I just hope that there is a never-ending replacement of your wardrobe up there in heaven. Jesse's love of music and kind heart goes further than his own, as anyone in our family members or friends, if they mentioned to him that they wanted to play trumpet or saxophone, the next thing you knew, Jesse was calling Doug Kennedy to go to Twigs, and yeah, we would buy them. He believed that all kids who played music would give them the same pleasure he knew of all his life, and yeah, to keep them out of trouble too. I can go on and on as 46 years worth, plus worth is a ton of fond memories, but we want to close saying that Jesse and I are so proud of each and every one of you and are forever thankful for the outpouring of love and comfort that you have shown. I can mention names, but there's so many that gave me the strength. Condolences to our Nashville family as our dear brother and brother-in-law, Robert, also passed away on July 10th of this year, 6 months and 9 days after. I know you're both up there reminiscing about the old days with all of the Couchmans and the Nance family angels. I personally feel blessed to have Lamont and Farina as our son and daughter, our 2 granddaughters and 5 great-grandchildren in Nashville, as they are my heart and soul, just as they were their pops, their daddy, and their granddaddy. We are so very proud of all of you. I feel blessed for the many dear friends and family members too in both countries as well. Everybody, I can't even express how grateful that I am. You know, preparing of this, there was many facets. Kathy, she's live streaming this for us right now, as you know. Yeah, a little IT challenge. And yeah, so we're truly blessed. I'm also, I forgot, I have little notes down here. Jesse also knows April Wine. I don't know, Ed knows Brian Greenway. I could tell you that Jesse was playing with him, or he was in the club in the International. And he comes to me and he says, Cheryl, said, I want somebody for you to meet. So I go over, sitting at a bistro table with his glass of beer in front of him. And he said, Brian. He said, Brian. He said, this is my wife, Cheryl. So I go out to reach because he put his hand out. And I knocked the glass off the table. All over his pants. There's a lot of other stories, but I'm going to conclude. And I just want to tell you, bless you all. Love you all. Love y'all, as they say in Nashville. And love you all from Canada, we're going to have some music. And I'm going to ask... I told you I'm not going to...
No glass around you.
No glass, don't put a glass in. We're going to have Charles come up, and he's going to play some trumpet for you. Then I'm guessing we could have Naveen come up. We're going to have Orville come up, and then we're going to have Doug Kennedy come up. And I think that's the musicians in the room. There's others, but they're just not here yet. So, oh yes, I'm sorry. Before we have Charles come up, I was just talking to him. We're going to have actually Farina, Jesse's daughter, that came from Boston, to speak. And I'm going to pass you the mic.
Hello, everyone. Just a little tribute for my dad. It's entitled Forever Ours, Remembering Jesse Howard Nance. Today we honor Jesse Howard Nance, a man who was many things all at once. He was a musician, someone who understood how a melody could speak when the words fell short. He was analytical, always putting numbers together. not just to calculate, but to make meaning of the world around him. He was also a dreamer and a creator, always imagining and building what could be. Above all, he was a loving dad, a devoted husband, a loving brother, a caring uncle, a proud grandpa, and a great grandpa, and a true friend. He was a giver, generous, kind, and always willing to share what he could or what he had with others. His generosity extended beyond family and friends. He gave freely to people he knew and people he did not know, because kindness was simply a part of who he was. As a friend, he offered the same warmth, loyalty, generosity, and genuine care that he gave to his family. To each of us, he showed up differently, yet consistently, with a quiet strength that made us feel seen, valued, and cared for. Dad, I am deeply grateful that God blessed us with more than 30 years together. No matter when our journey began, you made every year count. You made sure I knew I was loved, that I was chosen, and that I will always be Daddy's little girl. Your love was steady and reassuring, and it shaped me in ways I will carry for the rest of my life. I will always be grateful for the time we shared, the memories we made, and the gift of being your daughter. Today, while we miss you deeply, we do not grieve without hope. We know that you are in your element now, walking freely through heaven, trumpet in hand, home and joy. In my heart, I hear you playing Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. The music raising as praise, the sound finally matching the peace you know so fully. I also want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Cheryl. She's been there. We love her. Lamont and I love her like she was our mom. And we just thank you. We thank his family because you all are his family. You know, even though he was thousands and thousands of miles away from home, you were his home. And so we thank you for loving our dad, caring for him, and making him feel right at home, even when he was miles away from the place and people he long called home. There is a great comfort in knowing that he was surrounded by people who welcomed him, embraced him, and made sure he knew he was loved. For that, we are truly, truly grateful. And to everyone who came today to celebrate his life, thank you. Your presence is a reminder of just how many lives my dad touched. Whether you knew him as Jesse, a husband, a dad, grandpa, brother, uncle, musician, or friend, thank you for being here to honor the man he was and the life he lived. Our family is deeply grateful for your love, your prayers, support, and for helping us celebrate someone who meant so much to many of us and to us as well. Thank you, Jesse Howard Nance, for being a loving father, devoted husband, a cherished family member, and a faithful friend. Thank you for the generosity and kindness you shared so freely, for the family you cherished, the lives you touched, and the music you left in our hearts. Your love remains with us. Your legacy lives through us. And your memory will always have a home in our hearts. You are loved, you are remembered, you are forever ours.
Trying to get through. Yes, they're crying.
We get it.
And I'll explain the outfit. It'll all come together. So, honoring my friend Jessie, celebration of life today, August 15th, 2016. I'd like to start off by saying something cool, like, I stopped off at a bar and saw this really cool guy playing his trumpet on stage, but that's not how I met Jessie. It didn't quite happen that way. I lost my job. I was on unemployment and was given the opportunity to go back to school and improve my French skills. And that's where I met Jessie, at French school. There was a group of us that would hang out at recess and on lunches, and that's where Jessie and I became friends. Not long after, I was invited to meet Cheryl, and that was 40 years ago. I think people are incredibly lucky when they're able to say that they've had one best friend in their life. I feel lucky because I've always been able to say that too. And I know that Jessie and Cheryl are best friends to many. I don't know how many best friends you're allowed to have, but they certainly surpass the cap. Cheryl and Jessie have always been a huge part of my life, and I feel incredibly blessed to have shared a friendship that means more to me than I can really put into words. 588 Starling was at one time my second home. So, how do you sum up 40 years of friendship and describe to people what that was like? Because it was about so many things. It was about sitting up late for hours, trying to figure out life, the good, the bad, the ugly. It was about laughing so hard some nights that you would nearly pee your pants. It was about unplanned Friday nights, just getting together, pushing furniture out of the way, putting on the best rhythm and blues music ever, and dancing, laughing, just having a great time together. It was about the good times and the bad, and being able to support one another whenever possible. Jessie would often make reference to growing up with 11 brothers and sisters, and I think with all of their personalities and experiences, Jessie was just one of the easiest people to talk to and confide in. He had this special way of always bringing balance back into any situation with his incredibly funny sense of humor. There were times I would leave their house and I'd get in my car laughing, and I would laugh all the way home, and then Cheryl always insisted that I call when I reached the house, and we didn't even have to say anything. I would just pick up the phone, I'd still be laughing, and then that would be the end of the call. The last time I saw Jessie was on December 17th, 2025. I drove to Montreal. I picked up Cheryl, and off we went to Lachute. She went in the room ahead of me and announced to him that he had a visitor. And right after that, I kind of peeked around the corner and just saw that big bright white smile and just heard him say my name, Trish, and I'll never forget it. I ran in, gave him a big hug, and it was a really great visit because he looked really great. He was relaxed. He was very present, and we just had fun talking about old times and laughing. And I couldn't help but notice how handsome he looked that day. He just looked so handsome, and I complimented him on what he was wearing because Jessie was, really into fashion, and he liked to look good. He liked to dress well, and I made mention of this really cool hat that he was wearing, and then he started talking about how he liked to look distinct and be distinct. And Cheryl, I don't know if you remember, but that word distinct came up like, I don't know how many times throughout that conversation. And, and, I remember Jesse many times talking about stage presence. And he used to say that, you know, when people are coming to see you perform, you should be impeccably dressed and look different from everyone else in the audience. And so,
Way to go.
I'm standing here today in your honor with that philosophy, celebrating you by being distinct. So, Jesse left us on January the 1st, 2026. That was 226 days ago.
Oh, my.
And I was thinking about that the other day, and I said to myself, who checks out on January 1st? And then I thought about it again. And then I said, only someone as distinctive as Jesse. Because from this day forward, although every January 1st will mean something different for all of us, it will be a day when we stop and think about this incredible, funny, talented, wonderful, crazy person we all were so blessed to have in our lives. Jesse, we love you, we miss you, and you will never ever be.
That was nice.
Big girl. Miss you.
We're gonna have, can we pause for a flash? No, we're live, so. Charles is gonna come up, he has prepared something. Navina, after he's finished doing mine, if it takes a few minutes to set up, it's okay.
Yeah, but it's your family.
Yeah, so, then I guess Orville can come play, and Doug.
I might be able to fill in those little spots on the mic where they're setting up if you want
Oh,
some story
okay.
about
Oh,
Jess. That would
That's a
help
good
it flow,
idea.
right?
Doug actually has some stuff to say, so if we
Well,
need
some of
to,
it.
he can
I can
speak
give
while
you
you
some,
set up.
yeah, so that it flows.
It flows a bit better.
Because
I'm new at this, and I'm an IT person, you know? So I'm gonna introduce Charles, he's probably gonna do his own introduction. I'll read it. Charles.
It was an honor.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank Cheryl for inviting me to be part of this celebration and tribute to this wonderful, wonderful human being, Jesse Haynes. I was fortunate enough to be his professor in the course that I taught at Concordia, which is called Jazz 200. Now, this course is a course which explored the many facets in 360 degrees of music which we call jazz. It explored things which should be abundantly apparent in any music which purports to be jazz. That's West African origin. That's the primacy of voice, the primacy of rhythm, primacy of melody, the ability to swing, to make people pet their feet, to make people feel good. All of these things which are part of the cultural bedspring for which this music arrives. These things are not generally covered in university classes or any formal institution dealing with jazz. So I structured this course knowing that I had people coming into the class whose concept of the blues was maybe Michael Brecker, who was a tremendous saxophonist, tenor saxophonist, or B.B. King, or Paul Desmond, or whatever, but not have a full understanding of the magnitude of the blues. So in this course, we would study the blues. Study the blues. Now, in this course, I wanted it to be big enough to address the needs of our incoming students and students throughout the university who are interested in the music. Okay? So, you didn't have to be a music student to take the course. You could be in business, you could be in religion, theater, whatever. You could take the course. So in this class, we were fortunate enough that, check this out, we had a student representation. The youngest student was 17 years old. The oldest one was 85. Can you imagine being in a class like that? Can you imagine being in a class like that? Can you imagine the numerous points of reference inherent to us in a class from where the ages are 17 to 85? Now we're talking about we can get some education. Yeah. When we talk about the standards and stuff, and jazz being a very popular music, and we used to dance at Stewart Hall in Westmount and stuff like that. One person in the class could say, "Well, Mr. Ellison, I used to dance at Stewart Hall when Oscar Peterson came there and played as a young man." Really? You know, and all of this stuff, that was part of the magic. And there was Jesse sitting there, looking at Jesse. And Jesse had already had his accident. And he was very, very challenged. Jesse would be quiet, and then Jesse would say something. He would offer one sentence. And the sentence would just lay everything to rest. We've been talking, pontificating for hours and hours. Jesse would say one sentence, and that's it. In music, there's something called 5-1. 5-1 means that the statement is concluded. Star do be boo be boo wee da, sha sha be boo be boo he, sha da 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 boo da, sha she sha da boo da, did did ba boo boo be boo 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 be da, boo 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 be boo wee da da be boo wee. 5-1, yes, 5-1. Okay. So Jesse was like that. And since he was like that, he was a man of broad philosophical perspectives. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to start with some words. I'm going to read you a poem by Dr. Frederick C. Tillis. Dr. Frederick C. Tillis was a composer and arranger of classical and jazz music from Texas. He also was the provost of the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, which is where my wife did her master's as a student of his. And he's written numerous volumes of poetry. I have about 9 of them, volumes of poetry. So I'm going to read a poem, and then I'm going to play Amazing Grace, and I'm going to read another poem. This kind of wraps up what Jesse meant to me and his effect on the world. This first poem is called Song of Joy and Tears. I've never been moved more than by the tears of joy, raining down the cheeks of people who have felt the compassion of humanity through a great performance in song. There is no greater way to know the depths of the human soul than to feel the life-sustaining vitality expressed in the places of the singer's song, which tells us the deep convictions and commitment she has given to the power of music. performer who bears to the world his soul, who moves us from one place to a special time, to untouched regions of the mind, which we could not enter in any other way, is a blessing and a gift to humanity, that brightens dark and troubled nights and brings us nearer to the light, where we can share our fears for the hour and drown our tears in the joys of the day. I have never been moved more than by the passions of joy that can transform us through the magic and celebration of music and song. Dr. Frederick C. Tillis. Just friends, by Dr. Frederick C. Tillis. What are friends for? Who are these people? Why do they render such kindness without a single gesture of warning returns? Who are these people who share their gifts and talents without a hint of frustration, without shedding or revealing pain and lift heavy burdens? They are the disciples of love, the healers, the bonds of our strength. They are the ones who care and are willing to share the joy of our sorrow songs. Thank you.
Yeah, you can use it. Sure, sure. Right, exactly. Right.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say hello to Nashville first. I'm going to try to keep this rolling for you because it's not easy having people setting up. We don't want you guys to have too much dead airspace. It should have said dead today.
Jesus.
Little pun there. My name is Doug Kennedy. I'm going to call a lot of other names, I'm not going to repeat right now because it's live. And I think she loved Jesse more than she loved me. So I'm just going to be like interjecting now and then when somebody's setting something up so that we can keep it moving. I tried to plan stuff, I tried to write 2 songs, and then it was just like high-speed data coming into me, and I didn't know how to handle it. So, but Jesse, his expression would be, by the way, Nashville is called down home to me, and home here, right? So you guys down home, you said in your own obituary of Jess that he made a home away from home. Well, we're very grateful to follow Lamont's lead on your video that he did, because down home tastes great. I was really lucky, and what Jesse would say, we were tight. We were very tight. We played together for years in different bands. And, we did stuff together. And, some of the qualities I didn't know where to begin. Everybody knows he was a really good trumpet player. So, give you some of the main ones. He was talented. A genius, I would say, because genius in art is not really measured by, how technically brilliant you are. It's measured more by originality. And Jess was as original as they come. And I loved it because I was the same way. And there was this thing, right? Like, I had my songs, and his, and it was almost like your wife, You don't touch mine, don't touch yours. I'll show you the butter, but just keeping the rules on. Don't steal anything from me either. And I was a little crazy like that. When I was younger, I wouldn't watch anybody's fingers. If they played something I really liked, because I didn't want to steal from them. So I would just ask them, you play it again just so I can hear it. Look away from the fingers, This is going to be like kind of random as we go, because I hadn't planned to show up every now and then on this live stream, but it's probably better for you guys, because most people can only stand me in small doses. One of the things, I think Freya, you said it, where melody could speak when words can't, right? And I was so blessed to have these long conversations with Jesse, a lot of them. After, like I actually had my own work accident, and then I spent 23 years as a volunteer assistant in long-term hospital care, so we both had that love for the people and we didn't see each other as often then, but Jess used to tell me, when he played at those centers, he said, oh yeah, there's this one guy, he keep you waiting for me, and tell me how much you missed me from the last time. And I don't know whether to call you Mr. Ellison or Charles. Is it all right to call you Charles? We stepped there. See, he knew that was going to happen, I guess. But I don't know how thorough an introduction he got. But he's also, he's Tennessean as well, isn't he, Cheryl?
He is.
Yeah.
I believe he's from Memphis.
Jesse used to tell me one of the things, well, we would jam for hours. Let's stick on that tangent for a minute. And sometimes just come over on a Friday night. Cheryl would be over at Debbie's. And Jesse would order some food, and we jam first. We didn't record anything. And sometimes it's like, oh, we should have recorded that, right? But there was this steady conversation and music going, and it didn't really matter if we recorded it or not, right? We were speaking with each other. That's all that mattered. Then after supper, as we got on in age, and you guys start squinting at a six-pack to read it, and then it doesn't even say Miller or Labatt anymore. It says Ensure or Boost or something. That's you guys must have that down there. Come on, you got everything. So like, let's say phase 2 of a jam, right, with Jesse, like just one-on-one. And after supper, we'd be playing, and and it was like, sometimes you would hear this, And that was the sound of Jesse's mouthpiece dropping onto the hardwood floor, which woke her both up. I had to tell him to start playing some more, right? It was great. I was really blessed, and to have him as a friend too. Jesse told me right off the bat how many singers and artists, but mostly singers, come out of the church. Aretha Franklin, I think Diana Ross too, Sam Cooke. It's a big list. Tina Turner, and that's some more Tennessee talent. I don't know what you guys are reading down there, but we'll stop. Okay. I was kind of asked backwards in that respect. I played everywhere at the church, and I would get invited to come and sing in the choir, and I was like, well, no, but got my long hair, and I got a joint outside. I mean, I love God, Tell him I'm busy. I kind of send up until my patient comes in. Almost had a conversation going. But there was never any question who Jesse believed in, but he didn't preach. Jesse didn't preach at all. He basically let the hymn do the preaching and the trumpet do the teaching. And it was sweet. And, I'm a Catholic. Jesse had a lot of Catholic friends. We figure, Cheryl and I, that 100 at least is a very realistic figure. How many funerals Jesse would have played at? That's an underestimation probably. And he would, one of his friends, one of their relatives, anybody they knew, Jesse wanted to be there. He'd play Amazing Grace. Or he also did Schubert's Ave Maria. That's something that Aaron Neville loved a lot, being a Catholic guy. That's the great thing about music. Religion, yeah, okay, fine, we're gonna play, this thing about just like how many people actually came out of the church. So, we all come today because we love them. We're probably all at one, nobody's at the exact same point in their lives. I did 23 years of long-term pastoral care. They teach in their own way at their own time. But considering where Jesse is now, so maybe we should somehow he might like that if we mention God. It's kind of he's in his hood now, So, yeah. And it's like maybe the best way to do that would be through Jesse's eyes as much as possible. I got taught very well by Jess. He was deep. Okay, I knew that. John Nance, Jesse's brother, was Sarge. And I prayed for him and I found that he had passed away, as Jesse told me about, right? And Alice Peavy, Jesse's grandmother. I still say this prayer to this day. Jesse taught me, being a Catholic, a nice formal prayer, never mind that. Nice and simple for now, thank you. And Jesse taught me this prayer from his grandmother, Alice Peavy. It was 4 lines. Most gracious Father, forgive us when we disobey and help us to quickly repent and return to the loving joys of life. That's it, right? And so when I say I'm grateful for his family too. I would say I'm grateful for his dad, Willie, because Jesse told me that when he got to the point where he could play Danny Boy, which I think we're going to happen, his dad, I don't know if his dad really asked him to play it, or if this was just in Jesse's repertoire. Anyway, if he was in earshot, it brought tears to his eyes. And then, after Jesse finished, his dad would ask him to play it again. Danny Boy's a pretty good song. It's a good melody. It's kind of a, tug on the heartstrings, but I heard Jesse maybe 3 years ago. Do Danny Boy for me, just one-on-one. It was like he had the control of the dynamics, as if he was using the mute instead of the trumpet. But he had it that quiet. He had the note clear. He had the vibrato the way he wanted it, and I always knew he had feel, but I didn't want him to be Dan. It must have begun quite early because I think we could say that from what we know about him, that his dad would see his feel. Feel is something you don't teach a person. You can't teach them. Charles, while you were out, I didn't know whether to call you Mr. Ellison or Charles. Is Charles all right? Yeah. Okay. Now, when you find out that Selfridge is my nemesis, maybe you won't love me so much. But that's all right. I already told them that you were a Tennessee talent because I don't know if that was mentioned or not. We'll call him Mr. Ellison for this one, Jesse's teacher. Anyhow, you need, how we doing? Want me to keep yapping a bit?
I am like
Okay.
30 seconds away from
Okay, I'm a little bit longer than that, right? Because
So take your time.
it's actually a low pressure game. Unless you're away So, I told Charlotte that one of the things that Jesse had written is he wrote a lot of lyrics. And he wrote a song called I Found My God. So I figured, here he is now. And how would we like to look at God through Jesse's eyes now? Cheryl take it as beautifully, but the original sheet, she told me that there was a couple of things that were written in afterwards. So I'll deal with them first, but you gotta remember that Jesse he had a great sense of humor too. So I think we'll treat this part separately because it wasn't in his original, something special in the air. What kills us is what's on the ground. It's called I Found My God by Jesse H. Nance. Break this. He brought us here. He's going to take us away. And when we get to heaven, we're going to stay. He's been by our sides on those cloudy days. Sorry, that's the way he used to say it. He made those lights shine in so many ways. There are times it seems we have not one true friend. He's always standing on the other end. It was a late start, but I found my God. Well, he is in my heart. Yes, I found my God. We've had days with no one to understand, but he's always there with a lending hand. He helped us to stand tall when things around us fell. He's shown us ways to close the gates of hell. Many times it seems things just go the wrong way, but things brighten up after we kneel and pray. It was a late start, but I found my God. Well, he is in my heart. Yes, I found my God. No one can please us, that friend named Jesus. That to heaven, he's given me the key. And when it's all over, that's where I want to be. Let me just give you an analogy here. Louis Armstrong, Louis Armstrong, saxophone. But when the Saints go marching in, he did something musicians do. He only kept the chorus of the song, but I've got all the verses, right? Jesse used to play his stuff so beautifully. Might make Louis Armstrong jealous, but anyway. I want to be there in that number, and the Saints go marching in, right? That's the end of that chorus. Remember Jesse's song, when it's all over, that's where I want to be. Yeah, you guys wish. All right, so I think Naveen is about ready to go. Okay, thanks. Sorry. I didn't give me the key cards, you know. Everybody knows I can't read, and I just made that song up now. I'm friends with Cheryl. One of the things about Jesse, when you go to the old folks' homes, I actually would like your opinion on this, Charles. He would blow, right? But he would walk through the crowds, grabbing people's hands, right? A little bit dangerous, right? Because if you get smacked on the trumpet, your lip is going to be like toast for about a month, right? Yeah. But Jesse didn't mind, right? It was worth it. think they're getting ready. Okay. So, I don't know how to give you guys a proper introduction. I know Orville, I know Naveen now, I've never met him before. And it was funny, I just told him he looked familiar, and then standing in the line at a government building is how we, it wasn't a jail. And that's his name came up. Anyway, coming up again, every time I see you. So, Orville and Naveen, you guys give your last name if you want. Really sorry I don't know them, but everybody on the scene knew who Orville was, all right?
That's what I was thinking, but I could do something else to start a little bit. Yeah,
Go ahead, play your choice. One, two. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we used to hang around Jesse. We used to hang around. Yeah, and here we are, now grown up big boys, and we're playing for him. So this is the recital, and when we were in front of him doing this recital, it never happened. But now we're gonna make it happen. This is Naveen on keyboards, everybody. And Orville. So what happened today was, I was coming to play one song because Cheryl invited about 100 musicians. And he was coming to play a second song. So he phoned me just before we got here. I'm saying, well, wait a minute, you playing too? I said, yeah, we're playing. And I think she's got 100. He said to me, I think she's got 100 musicians. So I said, okay, it's gonna be a jam. It's gonna be a jam party. So I said, okay, you know what? You're gonna do it too, and I'm gonna do it too. Why don't we just play together? That's what we're gonna do.
So before we do that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just play a song I'd like to play. I was thinking of Jesse, and I thought this would be a great song to share. I have reason to believe the grass might be a little greener on the other side. I have reason to believe that if I turn myself inside out, that I'd get out alive. And I have reason to believe that if I got it right just one time, I'd be satisfied. And I have reason to believe the grass might be a little greener on the other side. I have reason to believe that everything you do or say is more than just a dream. And I have reason to believe that this electric midnight feeling's filled with razor beams. And I have reason to believe that if I could be all that you wanted, well, I would have some place to hide. And I have reason to believe the grass might be a little greener on the other side. Well, I have reason to believe if I were just a little taller, I'd be better off. And I have reason to believe that if my head came with a switch, that I would turn it off. And I have reason to believe that everything that I have learned is not a goddamn lie. I on the other side. That's the reason I believe the grass might be a little greener on the other side. That's the reason I believe the grass might be a little greener on the other side.
I'll tell you what, so I was gonna play this on sax, but you know what? I'm gonna sing the first verse. Or me and you sing it together, I sing the first verse,
However you want to do it, I'll just accompany you.
y'all sing the whole thing.
This is jazz.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see the moon sitting for me, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, yeah. The bright and blessed day, and the dark silent nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world is the world. And the colors are raining, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people gone by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're on the same lady, saying, I do love you. I see babies cry. I watch them grow. They are one much more than I ever known. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Celebrating summer, pretty in the sky. And they're watching all the tables, the people gone by, and their friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're saying, lady, I do love you. I see babies cry. I watch them grow. They're not much more than I ever known. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Come around one more time, just y'all. Say, And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I said, oh, 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 yeah. Jesse talked to me about that picture over there. I never known he was so famous there. But you know, yeah, he told me, I don't know who the fellow was, but he said some guy seen him in a place and he walked up to him and he said, I like to draw you or paint you, whichever one it is. I think it's painting, right, Cheryl? And when he showed me the pictures, I said, Jesse, really, man? I said, why? He says, well, he thought I was a character, you know, and you see the character. I said, I'm jealous, man. So I said to him, yeah, but I want one of the paintings, Jesse. He says, whoa. I said, yeah, no, I want one of the paintings, Jesse. I'm jealous. So, you know, I'll tell you about this fellow. Like, I met him probably just after he met Cheryl, around 79, the same time I met my sweet baby too, Nick Holloway. And then we started hanging around together. Yeah, we were trouble. Yeah, we like to go out and party.
Yeah.
Anyway, I must say, you know, Jesse, yeah, character. Jesse was a character, man. Yeah, he was definitely a serious musician character. Me and him would like be at it with the horns and like, yeah, back and forth. No, man, that's not, this is the way it goes. No, that's the way it goes. This is the way it goes. But when it came to creativity, I had to shut up and listen. So he taught me a lot about like, yeah, man, but I know it's supposed to go this way. But you know what? You ever think of like flipping it and trying it this way? So that's when I found out, oh, well, forget what I'm playing. Let me try something new. He was a creative genius. He was so creative genius. You know what happened to creative genius? I hate to say it, but they don't stick around for very long, just to be truthful. He made it to 70, 79. That's a long time. I'm now 70. And like I'm hoping to go past him. So basically his creativity is kind of like, when you look at creative people, you have a lot of creative people. I guess Jesus was a creative person, right? Yeah, all creative people don't, you know, they kind of come and they go. Miles Davis lasted a long time. Jimi Hendrix, you know, Amy Winehouse, the 27s. What's his name from the Doors? George. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like all these creative people, you know, like they come and like it's like, oh, well, he was just here and he did so much done, you know. This guy, he had more than musical creation. He had inventions. Yeah, he talked to me about the window washer. I actually wanted to get into it with him and make one and put it on my own window. But we made it this far, and that's him up there actually. That's the exact character of Mr. Jesse. That's exactly the stance he would take on this. Trust me. I don't know where you got that picture from. It looks exactly like him. So one of those, you know, tech people or software people, they must have seen him somewhere in the clouds or something like that. So thank God. Jesse.
This one's on
We'll just blow up the room.
Hold on, I'll go change the fuse.
Sorry.
Good, because somebody can.
Wait till
Andre's
it's
good
over.
at doing the touchpad. I taught him, we practiced all weekend. When the ghost dies, walk up and quietly touch it. They can't take a shower.
I guess that, no, this one, don't take this one. If you got any more?
Yeah.
Good.
So I did say I would play Daddy Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna lose.
You wanna sing it? We're gonna sing them.
Okay, but can you guys maybe somehow come forward or go together, because this is getting,
Oh, because she's trying to get.
I'm trying to get this for Nashville, live. So until you wanna huggy it out, Nashville's not gonna get, I keep hitting the tripod on my wheels. Hey? It's not even the podium, it's stuck on my wheelchair wheels. Oh, yes! Michael, thank you. Michael, you're a genius. Okay, now, there you go. Thank you, guys. Could have done that.
So when Cheryl asked me to play today, Danny Boy was one of the first things that passed through my mind, because I remember Jesse telling me the stories of how his father would make him play that over and over all the time. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses are falling. It's you must go and have us by. But coming back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's touched and white with snow, it's always there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when he comes and all the flowers are dying, if I'm dead, as dead I will maybe, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and you'll say, another there for me. And I shall hear the soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be. You will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me.
I'm not quite ready yet.
That's all right. That's all right. I've got another one I'd like to do for you guys today. was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. And it's not a cry you can hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Although I'm only supposed to play one, because Charles heard me play before, obviously. Because I gotta move you guys on to food, and then there's gonna be, you need a microphone, I think. Because I didn't get to choose one, right? She told me, you're gonna play this one. I know, Jesse. You know how it goes,
Live. Live. On my YouTube channel. You just missed Danny Boy.
This is not, okay, I was working on a microphone last night. This is my church, I forgot to tell you in Nashville that eventually I did start playing in the church when COVID came. That's all I do now. I actually had to do 8 songs yesterday, plus 1 a cappella at a celebration, so I do it all backwards, but finally, I was once told that the talents we receive are God's gift to us, and what we do with them is our gift back to Him. So, I'm sorry, did you get a chance to set some levels here? This is not usually how it's set up.
That's the fun part about being live.
Good enough, good enough. This is not a paid gig, right? Some of the ones we did weren't that well paid either, right, Ed? That's why you guys had to do double time. Isn't it helpful? Jam session's coming. We gotta eat first. That's fine. I might want to do this alone because I just haven't had sleep in a couple of days, so. But I'll get into the jamming as we go. Anyway.
She can talk there.
So it's only fitting that I think that Jesse should come here, or he is here. And actually have two songs that Naveen's gonna play. The first one is I've Got That Lady. It's
Oh,
a
shit.
song that he wrote for me. Sorry if it's really. I haven't been able to listen to it, so bear with me. And I mentioned Trumpet Man Blues. That's the next one. So you get the full effect of Jesse playing. I've Got That Lady. It's Jesse actually playing the trumpet plus it's him singing. So we're gonna turn it over to Naveen.
I'm gonna play the Trumpet Man Blues. I just want to share a little bit about this track before I play it. When Carolyn Faye was trying to make her blues album, I looked around in the room and I thought, wow, I'm trying to make a blues album with a bunch of people that have never ever made a blues album or thought about making a blues album before. And that was the reason why I thought of suggesting bringing Jesse in. I thought he would lend some authenticity to what we were doing there. And he came in and he showed us a song that he had written called Save Mom's Son, which he had such a clever way. He'd come up with the title using 2 letters from each of his siblings. And he played it, and Carolyn loved it, and she wrote lyrics. So the Trumpet Man Blues is actually originally Save Mom's Son. Words that Carolyn had written for it. Here it is.
The bar is, just outside the door, cash bar. There's food on the table. We're gonna just enjoy. Anybody who, musicians, if you wanna play, I know Charles said he's wanting to play something. Yeah, feel free, but we're gonna stop the live feed.
You don't want me to keep watching them play?
I think it'll be good, and,
You guys are all good?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And, thank you, Nashville, thank you,